folks, it's Frithgar here. How you doing? It is a miserable day today. I'll show you in a minute. Digger's going to be turning up any minute now. At least that's what I'm hoping. And then once it does, we'll get it unloaded and I will show you. I'm just going to show you the weather. There's the little grey Fergie here in the shed. This is just a bit of the hay left over from the winter. And I was talking to you, I mentioned before about how, see, there's a nice lot of grass in that, but there's also some rushes in there as well. And the cows will eat some of the rushes, but they will also then, it sort of gets turned into bedding. So you can see under here, there, they don't eat that bit. The hay gets eaten, and then what's left gets chucked in on top. And there, I mean, this is left over from the last of the stuff in the winter, so it doesn't normally go in mouldy like that. It's been sat here for a month getting damp and so on, so don't think that this is the normal reflection. But here, if you have a look at that, that was in the feed trough. They picked out the hay out of it, and then you're left with clumps of this, which gets put from the feed trough into the rest of the pen and is really good bedding. It's quite absorbent. It's excellent stuff. So out here we have a miserable day. Look at it. I don't know if you can see very much at the moment. It was absolutely tipping it down just a second ago. That is the John Deere 2140. Very, very similar to a tractor that my dad had when I was growing up. Except I think he may have had actually a 2140, but it was a four-wheel drive one. But this is why I was getting so excited about the round cab when I was looking at, look, see, got the round cab on front there. When I was looking at FS22 when it first came out, we had the round cab. And this one, let me sit down in the seat here. I'll show you. So you got the steering wheel here, and that's the PTO on there. You've got the handbrake over here. This one's got the gears up on the side. You do sometimes have the gears down here. If you have a look there, there's a plate in there. So they use the same chassis on some of the different models. So some of them have the gears there in between your legs, and some of them have the gears up here on the side, and then got hydraulic controls and a few other bits and pieces down here. Side windows open like that. This is the beacon for the going on the road, and yeah, just a few controls and so on. It's a very old tractor. This thing is nearly as old as I am, so and it's a bit beat up, and as you can see we've got bits and cables and leads and stuff everywhere in here, but the tractor works. It does what it needs to do. They moved away from rounded front cabs. Let's get out, close that one. But he's a very nice tractor. It's a nice little tractor to drive. It's fun to drive. I like it. And you will see that one in action at some point, just not today. Digger's late getting here, so I've just been clearing a few bits and pieces from up the side here, getting it ready. We're getting all the rest of it. I cleared all the bales away from there. That was yesterday I was doing that, and we've just got a few more bits that we need to move. This here is a set of chain harrows. Very old set of chain harrows. These days you have chain harrows usually just set on a framework. Let me just, yeah, can't see them very well, but if we look in here, I'll see if I can show you. This set is really, really old. Now, I don't know if you can see that very well. Yeah, these are years and years old. The spike there is really worn down. Now, these days you get a new set, the spike would be down where my finger is there, and so come all the way down to the end of my finger there,
So you'd have a nice long spike that would go through and it scrapes up all the dead grass. These have been used so much they've worn right down. This is a really old set. Originally this would have been pulled behind a horse, and we got this bar on the top, and you drive around the field, get to the end of the field, and then you unhook most of the bar and you sort of drag it through sideways, and then you straighten it all out, and you carry on again and you do the next field, and it's a lot of work. So this has pretty much come to the end of its life now. The chains themselves, the hooks, if you look on there, look, this was Wesley's, by the way, for anybody that follows the other series on the channel as well. He used this for 30 or 40 years, but yeah, everything is worn right down through, so we've got all the links like that, and they're starting to break as well, so this one really has been worn right through. So they're looking at getting a replacement set that will be on a frame, so you just lift it up, fold the frame up to move into a field. But right now what I'm doing is just, there's a pile of pipes and stuff here. This is farmer's plumbing that we got right here, and it's only been left for one season, and you can see it's already completely grown into the grass. I've said it before and I'll say it again, crops may not grow very well in this part of the world, but my goodness me, the conditions for growing grass in this part of the world are absolutely perfect. You can grow so much grass so quickly, which is why livestock farming here is the sensible thing to do. If you try to grow crops like wheat and so on, you'd hardly get anything, and it would be a complete waste of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on moving all of these bits of pipe, well, I've got to dig them out the grass, and then once I've made a collection of them over here, I can load them up and we'll go and put them somewhere else. It's very windy here today. I say that every time, don't I? Actually, I don't think I said it was very windy yesterday when I was doing the stuff for the last episode. But anyway, we have moved most of the stuff now. There's piles of wire up down there in the corner and stuff like that, but yeah, well, there's some bits over there that got to be moved. This is something I actually realized we had these. I'll just bring this over here. I didn't know that we actually had these, but we've got that red Massey 35. Those spade lug wheels in there are spade lugs for a Massey 35. So at some point, they're not in very good condition, they're in extremely poor condition, but at some point we are going to try them out on the tractor, put the spade lugs onto the Massey and see what that's like, and just have a little bit of a drive around with them. So I will definitely get that on camera. Now I say at some point, that could be any time between 2 months and 2 years, so don't hold your breath just yet. So we dug out all the wire and everything. I just wanted to show you the chain harrows. So you have 4 sections like this. The bar we've already moved down over there, so that's just sitting on top of the pile down there, and we're going to keep this set of chain harrows just as spare, but this is the other bit. And what you do is you have these 4 sections here. So let me try and do this while I'm holding the camera, and you unroll them like this. Oh, he's upside down, that's why. Oof. They're very heavy. He comes out like that and goes there. Alright, I got to interrupt it there for a moment. Just finishing pulling out the one section. So that's what it looks like for the chain harrows. One section out on the ground has a piece like that, and that comes out like that, and then this bit up this end, you have little hooks that go through here, and this goes onto a bar, and then you've got 4 of these. all rolled up. So you'd roll them up and you put them on a trailer and you take them out to the field and then unroll them like that, and they're and it all gets hooked onto the bar and you start dragging them around the field. These are very, very worn. The teeth on the bottom of these, as I said before, they're really short. They should be a lot longer than that, probably 3 times that length. You know, big, you know, quite deep spikes. And you chain harrow the field, then you roll it. The reason I got interrupted was because this one's turned up. We have our new toy, and that is what I'm going to be driving for the next few days. Now, I know that for some of you this is just a little baby one, but for me this is a monster digger. You've seen the size of the one I'm normally driving, and this one is altogether bigger. So the very first job I'm going to do, it's actually lunchtime, they had issues with delivery, so we're going to go and have lunch, and the very first job I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 4 rolls of chain harrow into that bucket, swing them down over there and move them, and then we can go and get started. So I've got a little bit of loose soil and stuff over there that we've got to move, and then there's the bits of the dung heap that was pulled out during the winter from the cows. There's not a lot there. They didn't get all the cows straight away at the beginning of the winter. Some of them turned up partway through. That's got to be moved up out the way, and then there's some trees growing on the top of that bank. We're going to carefully dig all of those out and move them elsewhere. Those are really, really fast growing hybrid willows, and they're really good, but these are the only ones that we've got on the place, so we want to very carefully take those out with plenty of root ball, transplant them into somewhere that's suitable for them. They can stay there temporarily, and then when everything's finished we'll put them back up on top of the bank. The new bank will be up over there, and then we can actually start doing some serious digging around here. But I'm going for lunch now. Right, I have absolutely no idea how well you can hear me at the moment. I will test it out today, and then I can see tomorrow whether or not it's actually worked. And also I may have to reposition the camera a little bit, but so far I think it's gonna be alright. We'll have to wait and see. We've got the chain harrows in the bucket right there, and I'm just going to go and move those. And there's a couple of little bits that we want to pull out of the hedge we need to do as well, but we just got to wait for the machine to go through his auto warm-up procedure, and then once he's done that, then we can carry on and do some work. Right. Let's see what we can do with this. Just going to move this lot down here. Which way are we driving? We're driving this way. Going to put these chains in here somewhere, down there. Go and just scoop a few bits of earth out of the way, move a little bit of a dung heap, and then we've got some trees to move. Trees there that we'll probably try and put in somewhere, I don't know where. This lot here, I'm just going to sort of just scrape it up into a heap so it's out of the way. That's only one tree there actually. Let's be in here on this one. sneaking around when you're trying to go up over a hump. Right, it has been a long time since I've done anything with a bigger machine, so I'm going to be a little bit ropey to start with, so you're not allowed to laugh at me. Ooh. We don't want to be bashing and crashing it like that either. That's not the way to behave. It's a lot faster than using that little one that we've got. Do something else with this later. I'm just moving it out of the way at the moment so that we can move that little bit of dung heap out of the way, and then we can start scraping back the topsoil off of the bank. Just scrape back. It's not very tidy. I'm just heaped it up in a great big heap over there, and now I'm going to start moving this little heap right here. I'm not going to drive into the dung heap very much because that's just going to make a terrible mess on our port machine here, which we don't really want to do. So I'm going to scoop it out. I'm going to tip it up that way, like that. I do usually have the front window open, but I'm not doing that today, or at least not at the moment, because of the rain. Now, there's buzzing in the background. If you have this one on slightly lower revs, it's buzzing. You don't need to have it higher revs like that, but it stops the buzzing, and that buzzing is starting to sound like white noise. So I'm going to have it on the higher revs. It means that you've got to be a lot smoother with the controls, or it will sort of jerk around a bit more, and also it will drink a little bit more fuel having it on the higher revs. So really I should keep it on the low one, but it's going to drive me insane with the buzzing. So I'm going to try and find out at some point soon what's making it buzz, and if I can do that, there's just something there that needs to be tightened up. If we can find it and tighten it, then problem solved. We won't have to worry about it, and I can put it back to a slightly lower engine revs, which would be altogether better for everybody involved. Now, my dad is going to be coming up here soon with his little dumper, just to help ferry a little bit of this back. So I won't be filming all of it. I don't think you're going to want to be watching me just move dung heaps, because, well, I don't know, you might. Moving a dung heap might be just what you want to see. It's not every day you use a machine like this moving a dung heap. Normally you use a tractor or a telehandler or something like that to do it. So this could be a unique experience for many of you.
see if I normally like to have the window open. How do you open this one? Just put that one like that. Buzzing terribly. It's exactly right on the lower revs, but you don't notice it anywhere near as bad if you have the side door closed and just the front window open. And I do normally drive with the front window open and the side door closed. And if it gets hot, then open up the side door as well. I think there is actually air conditioning in this one, so I could close everything up and use the air conditioning, but don't generally unless it gets really warm. And in this country it doesn't usually get really warm, and the number of days that I get to drive a machine of this size that coincides with the number of days that we actually have hot weather in this country. I think there has been one occasion ever in my life. Driving tractors is altogether different. I've spent quite a lot of time driving tractors in baking heat, and air conditioning is something that you are eternally grateful for. To scrape up as much of the dung as possible. If I get a little bit of topsoil mixed in with it as well, then that's fine, because we don't have very much and we want as much as possible. We don't want to be buying in fertilizer. That's not something that anybody here wants to do. Much more so this year, because fertilizer prices have gone through the roof this year. So we want as much homegrown stuff as possible. I don't think there is any plans for buying any fertilizer at any point anyway. Tractor tires just in here, so I want to very carefully get them out, because they're quite old tractor tires, but they're for one of the older tractors that we've got here, so we actually want to keep it. Now that can just go over there for a minute. Something with that later.
how much you can see, hoping you can. Actually, it looks like it's kind of moved. My mount has moved, my bracket. I will make sure that's better tomorrow. But anyway, what I've done here, let's move this over. I dug a little exploratory hole. Oh, can you see that? No idea how well this is showing up. I will have to have an investigation. It's near the end of the day, and so I will have an investigation of the footage and then make some adjustments tomorrow before I do very much else. I did an exploratory hole to see what kind of stone we can dig out of the ground here, and apparently we can dig out a lot of stone. There's some very good stuff. It's not all that far down, so there will be probably 2 days of digging a really deep hole, big hole, digging out stone. But for now, once I have finished doing this bit here, I'm going to start just scraping the topsoil and the grass back off the entire area and stockpiling it until I finish for the day. So it's not going to be 1 day per video on this job, it's just going to be however many videos I happen to make from the footage that I get. So I'm going to, well, that's about it really. It's just judge it like that. The only reason I'm filling this back in is because I don't want to leave a huge great big pit open in the middle of the field for people to accidentally fall in or animals to fall in. When we come back to it a bit later on to go and fill things in, to start digging out again, I'll know where to start digging from. The loose bit there will just get chucked away. There we go. Shouldn't bash the bucket, it's not good for it. This is a hire machine, and a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's just a hire machine. I always try to drive every machine as if it's my own and I've got to look after it. Fortunately, as you've probably seen with a number of things that I've done already, like the mini digger has a lot of people driving it, and most of them aren't, they can drive it, they can operate it, but they're not drivers. They don't really care about the machine very much. They just want to get the job done as quickly as they can, so it's bashed and pumped about, and there's quite a few people that have access to it that drive it like that, and it shows. It's a tired, worn out machine, and it's not good. We have got bushes for it. Someone was saying about the bushes on that mini digger that we have. The bucket is like really loose. There is a set of bushes waiting to go on it. We just want some wet weather, or it'll probably be the autumn, and we'll start changing that one over. But now, no, we're not going to worry about that one. I've got this one for several days. Normally I do this for 1 day a week. I come up to this farm, and someone's asking how big it is here. There's 40 acres here. It's my dad's farm. Small holding, big farm, I suppose, and it's about 40 acres. Right, that's probably enough stuff shoveled over there. Doesn't really matter, we can shovel it a little bit more. I'd rather get rid of the stone here and leave it behind than scrape it away with us. So let's put it there and away a bit. What I'm going to do is all of the topsoil from here going down across that way is all going to be stockpiled. Before I leave for the day, I will do a little bit of a walk around just to give you an update on what has happened here. Something that you've got to be aware of when you're operating a machine like this. For those of you who don't operate machines like this, when you've been used to using a mini digger, this one, see if you can see it, let me just check. Yeah, that's fine. Right. You can't see that bucket at all, can you? How much can you see? Well. Alright. Yeah, see, I'm not really sure what this footage is coming out like, but anyway, the bucket, you look there, it is entirely possible to put that bucket right through the cab. See, that will go right through the cab. So you do have to be careful of that. It is something that you definitely have to be careful of. Alright, that's it for day one for me. I don't know if this is going to be a complete video or not, but we've got a little bit of topsoil there that has been scraped off. I have scraped down the side of the bank down there just to remove the grass. That'll be scooped back with all the topsoil here, and we can see over this way I have started stockpiling it there. That's where we're going to have a big stockpile of the stuff that's sort of going to go here. Should be out of the way. There's more of the stockpile there to move, and everything here. So I've already started scraping this back a little bit. It's a bit rough in the middle because some of the other people came out to have a little go, so this isn't all my digger work. Although I'm not being particularly careful about keeping it even because it really doesn't matter at the moment. And all that up through there, I've got to take all of the topsoil off and move it back out of the way. That's the first job. So that's going to be a fair number of hours tomorrow to move everything back out of the way. And then we can start scraping down a little bit more and moving it back and then this entire bank right here, that has all got to be moved. The whole thing has got to be completely removed because it's all in the way. So that is going to be a big task. And I've also got to dig a huge, great big hole over there to dig out a whole load of stone, and all of the soil from this bank is going to go in it. So I'm going to go home and have my tea, and I will be back bright and early tomorrow. You can see the cows just up there. I don't know if you can see them very well from down here. It's just the two bulls, the young bulls that are in the field. You've come up to see what we're doing. If you can see them very well from here. I'm not going to walk all the way up there because, quite frankly, I'm hungry. I want to get home and I want to have some food, because when they order takeaway and it's delivered, it rings my number to say the food is outside the door, and I had a phone call about 20 minutes ago to say the food is outside my door, which is really unfair because I'm more than half an hour away from where I actually live. So it looks like they're all having takeaway at home without me. Sen has got takeaway, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting any or not. We'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.